Now that I'm thinking about it, this movie I'm talking about today is basically a feature film length anti-piracy ad. Hey there, creepy peeves. I'm Nightmare Maven. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I talk about spooky things all year round. If you also like spooky things all year round, you should subscribe. Become a creepy peep today. I very much enjoy watching foreign horror films, and while the WGA SAG-AFTRA strike is going on, I'm looking forward to diving back in to foreign horror films because I feel like I haven't watched very many in a while. So just let that be an invitation immediately. If you have any suggestions for foreign horror films, old or new, let me know in the comments. Sometimes even if they're older, they fly under the radar and maybe it's not one that you hear a lot of people talk about. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. So a foreign horror film that may have flown under the radar for you, it certainly did for me, is coming soon, which is a Thai supernatural horror movie about a projectionist that discovers the latest horror movie set to release later that week is cursed, and anyone who watches the climax of the film will die. It's been a while since I've seen like a cursed movie, cursed tape movie. I feel like that trope is a little bit dated now. I don't think dated is the term I'm looking for, but I feel like it's very like of the time because physical media is not like our main source of content anymore. Everything is so digital now. And I feel like there have been a couple of like cursed like viral videos here and there, but I just feel like they don't hit the same as like the cursed physical media. I feel like when it's digitized and it's something that's shared a million times and there's no like kind of like physical home for it, I don't know, it just it takes something scary out of it than when it's like it's a physical tape, it's a physical film reel, it's a physical DVD even, hell. Something about that makes it scarier. So this movie came out in 2008, which is at a time when film was still like in a reel. Not for very much longer after this, but and I think it adds something to the film story as well. Like you have to encounter this piece of media, you have to encounter this film reel, you have to encounter this tape for you to be cursed. There is a kind of like, I don't mean it in like a literal sense like sinning, but there's like a sin aspect to it that you have to potentially seek out this cursed piece of media or ignore warnings and watch it anyway in order for it to curse you. But because the cursed videotape, cursed movie thing is something that I've seen quite a bit before, I felt like the plot was maybe just a teensy bit predictable only because I've seen these movies before. And not that I set out to do this particularly, but I did kind of guess what the ultimate like reveal of the curse was gonna be. I feel like it was just staring me in the face the whole time watching the movie. And because of that, I kind of wish they had spent maybe a bit more time on the scares and things like that, and maybe a few more deaths, because the reveal of the curse ended up being a little bit straightforward, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I feel like there's ways you could lean into that and still make the movie fun. Speaking of scares, I thought the makeup effects were cool. You see them mostly in the beginning of the film as the movie opens with the actual film, like the cursed film. So you get to see that, you know, before we cut to like the projectionist story and all of that. The like the ghost slash demon antagonist, we'll call her for lack of a better term, is pretty creepy. I feel like they utilize the whole like lurking in the background scarily moments a lot, and I really enjoy that. And of course there's some jump scares, as you might imagine with this kind of movie, but I feel like they were relatively well balanced though, which I appreciated. But it is very much a popcorn horror flick. It's just something, at least as it came across to me, as something that you watch maybe casually, well, as casually as you can, with it being in a language that maybe that you don't know and you have to read the subtitles. I feel like those kind of casual watches are slightly different because I still have to read the subtitles. But you know what I mean? It's like light, you don't really have to delve too deep into the meaning of it. It's just something kind of fun to watch, especially with a group, possibly. And this came across the most to me with the characters, because the characters are very one note. Like just the backstory that we have with the projectionist and his girlfriend was ultimately really shallow. And I mean shallow in the sense that they didn't really develop like their character arcs that they had going on, and like the drama they kind of created within the movie. I feel like it was just added for the sake of drama, even though technically it was kind of deep. There was weirdly a lot going on. So basically our main character, Shane, the projectionist, has this whole like backstory with his girlfriend where they are like currently broken up because he used to be on drugs and he stole her watch and he hit her. One time he hit her, but still. And it's weirdly heavy for an otherwise light horror film. And honestly, mild spoilers, it has no bearing on the rest of the plot. Like I said, I feel like it was just added in for drama's sake, where I kind of felt like maybe they could have just leaned into like the popcorniness of it all and just let it be like a fun horror movie. But because they added in all this extra stuff that I don't think was needed, to me it felt like the ending was very rushed. And ultimately the end of the movie almost felt like a non-conclusion. It was almost like nothing else that happened in the film mattered, which maybe isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think if there were sequels to this, because this felt very much like the first movie in a series or a franchise where it establishes a lot and leaves it open-ended enough for more to come if that were to be the case. So if I found out that there was a sequel to this, I would very quickly seek it out and watch it, in the hope that because this first film felt like it was establishing a lot, that the second film might be more of those like fun kind of scares, because I feel like there was a lot good going on here. It just got overshadowed by just some like weird additions. But ultimately, I didn't hate spending my time watching this. I've definitely endured worse at the request of Mike from Rotted Reviews. So if you've seen Coming Soon, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. And as I said at the beginning of the movie, please, if you have any other suggestions for foreign horror movies, old or new, that you think have just flown under the radar and not enough people have talked about, send them my way. Let me know. I will happily check them out. If you enjoyed this video, if you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here. Become a creepy peep today. And I'll see you very soon with a new video. Until then, stay strange. Bye.